And
It's not just a show, it's a journey we share. We're always trekking, full of mature. It's not just a show, it's a journey we share. We're always trekking, full of mature. Always trekking, full of mature.
hold up. I don't understand why. Hi, everybody. I don't understand those. You sent me those pictures of that other chapter's table, and why does everybody insist on doing the Nanu? I don't know. Maybe I'm anti-Vulcan. I think they're stuck-up prudes, just like elves. They are. They're space elves, and I don't like elves either. Pointy-eared, dandelion-eating flower children. I hate them. And so I don't know. Maybe that's every time someone does that to me, I'm just like, mahalo, dude.
You can always do the reverse,
Yeah.
Suffer and die. Suffer and die in real pain.
Yeah. One could always hope.
Generation X. Generation X Vulcans. It's like, hey, you know what?
We were going to talk about the whole Vulcan episode. 3.5 Vulcans.
4.
No, 3.5. Well, 4.5. You're right. 4.5. I'm sorry.
I was like, are you cutting one of them out just because they were like?
One of my confusions is why, when Pike became a Vulcan, did his voice go up? He started talking a lot higher.
Maybe he's supposed to be. Maybe the actor thought he needed to be more stringent, or
I don't know. All I know is it was very
more prissy. I don't know.
Their intent was to make all of them very grating, and they were.
Yeah,
they were quite grating.
Yeah, actually, I will say that of all the characters in that episode, there's actually a lot of things to unpack from that episode. But I will say the first one that really gets me is La'an, because
she turned into a Romulan.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, hey, we could boost the weaponry on this vessel to higher levels, and we could make this vessel indestructible. Like, Romulan much?
So here's my question. Apparently, according to the exchange between Pike and La'ana, and I will call her by her first. I mean, I always hate that when men are referred to by their last name and women are referred to by their first name. But her last name is just too unwieldy for me. We even called Khan because Noonan Soon is just too much. Screw it. So
anyone named Noonien Singh can go, hey.
Yeah, first name. You're on a first name basis now. Now my problem is, all right. So they well, not people on chat. Is that while they are, they're talking to each other on there, and they're discussing, there's a secret I know, and is it a secret that you know? And both of them are referring to the fact that it is a known secret in the upper echelons, but they can't tell anybody because it's a super secret. All right. So at that point, why was it such a reveal in the I mean, it needs to be a reveal that, oh my God, Romulans and Vulcans look alike. Apparently, it's already known in the hierarchy. I mean, you would think, this. I mean, as far as I know, this is the first time they've ever broke with canon in Star Trek. I mean,
it's Strange New Worlds.
They break canon like like a fat man breaks wind, and trust me, I'm a fat man. So yeah, it once again they're messing up with the timeline.
They actually really played fast and loose with it a little bit more than I even really suspected they were going to. One of the things was that they introduced, if you caught it, Cetacean Ops in the original Enterprise. Because if you look at the floor and you watch it, and you watch the wall, there's a whale going around. That's why there's
Which
the
episode
water
was this
effect
in?
on the lighting in the room at the end.
What
When she's
in,
like,
in
you
this
know,
episode?
yeah, she's in Cetacean Ops.
I'll have to review that.
Yeah, because it's
You
like,
know, if
really?
they can fit Cetacean Ops in this Enterprise, then they can put the bowling alley back in. That's what I'm saying.
Well, the other thing is like, you know, I'm like, this is the whole thing with you know, storylines. Sure, you can go ahead and stick whatever you want to it. Narrative convenience. It is a storytelling device. It is also a character. But the problem is that when do you TARDIS it up to the point where it's no longer even believable anymore? This is like, you know, we've tried holodecks, we got Cetacean Ops. The only thing we haven't stuck in is like an extra shuttle bay. Oh wait, we did actually stick in an extra shuttle bay because they mentioned that shuttle bay 2.
You know, I am waiting for them to find data, all right, and just go, oh, we don't have the right, you know, adapter to plug them in, so we'll just set that off to the side for now. All right, I'm waiting for that. All right,
It's going that way.
once again, it is my great big beef where, you know, and this is my problem with every prequel. This is my problem with every prequel. I've hated it ever since the first prequels, which were, you know, Star Wars prequels, is by doing a prequel, you are eliminating finding out new things.
Yeah.
All right. And it would be okay if you told the stories, you know, the canon backstories to their full, but they're not taking the time or the effort to tell those stories in full. Instead, they want to rush ahead and bring the nostalgia in as quickly as possible. So they're tying in everything they can all at once instead of just taking their sweet time with it.
Yeah. I agree. The other thing that sort of stands out in my mind with the 4.5 Vulcans, although they play it up kind of as a comedy episode, a la Trouble with Tribbles. I mean, it's basically what it is.
Yeah, it is a comedy episode, except for the whole, you know, we're just going to gloss over the fact that, you know, Uhura basically mind raped the kid. All right.
Yeah.
We're gonna gloss over that. She basically, you know, manipulated him into doing something that shouldn't have been done. That's fine. That's fine.
That's because, you know, one of these things of, you know, whenever we discuss this kind of stuff in Star Trek, it never goes properly. I mean, like there was the whole Deanna Troi, you know, being mind raped by for the episode, but it started this whole concept of, you know, mental intrusion, and you know, it was handled better there. But Spock, just to sort of rewind it, if nobody recalls this, Star Trek 6, Valorous is not willing to give up the information to Spock and the rest of the crew about where the conference at Khitomer is at. And so he goes, oh, well, that's fine. I'll just mind meld you and forcibly pull it out of your head. And kind of the same sort of like thing, you know, hey, if you're not willing to talk, I will use my special mind powers to get it out of you. And the scene was very, there was sexual overtones, let's put it that way.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, they're always trying to
because Kim Cattrall did that.
So they can, yeah, have their little thirst traps.
It's you know, it's Sex in the Stars instead of Sex in the City. So you know.
Yeah, it exactly is. It's a warp drive and IUDs. But anyway, Yeah, I waited till you took a drink.
Yeah.
uh,
Oh, nice.
but no, that's I forgot what I was going to say. I was so proud of myself right there. Well,
We
no,
were talking about.
there's a difference between you have to use interrogation techniques. I mean, to a certain point, that's understandable, up until, torture, because as we know, torture doesn't work. Because the torturee will say whatever the hell they need to say to get the torture to stop.
Yeah.
And they make shit up, whatever it takes. But
It was Gandalf, I tell you, Gandalf.
it was that bearded bastard. All right. He tried hiding out in that school, that Hogwarts. It didn't work. They found him.
Those long bearded bastards.
Yeah.
It's always them.
Dumbledore the Gray, my ass. Anyway, but no, yeah, I can understand that, that he would have to do that for, for that instance. But, when it comes to, the whole manipulation thing. But anyways, that's going off on a tangent. I really did love Patton Oswalt's character.
Mm-hmm.
I forget his name. Was it Bob or something?
Yeah, it was like Bob. He had a very human name. His entire family of Vulcans had picked human names. Like, I think he had a cousin Peter, is what I remember.
Yeah.
His
name was Doug, if I remember correctly. And that, I would have to say, those two were the high point of that episode. Just, that relationship, that was like, okay, this is definitely the funny episode. Although I can't wait for next season, when apparently they're going to break out with the Muppets.
They're going to have Muppets on the show?
Dude.
I hadn't heard about that.
Dude, they even, I think it was at Comic-Con, they did like a little quick intro thing on it. Let me bring up Trek Strange New World.
Maybe I've seen it, and maybe I've slept since then, but it's one of those things where, like, I sometimes purposely try and not watch a lot of media on certain shows because I really don't want to have my viewing experience ruined by somebody dropping something.
I understand totally. I mean, I am a huge one that hates that. I mean, well, one of the things that I say is, as an example, is Thor Ragnarok. All right. And Thor Ragnarok, you can tell by the pacing and the reveal and everything like that, you can tell that the fact that Thor was going to be fighting the Hulk was a huge reveal. When they shot that and edited it, that was supposed to be the big Sixth Sense, Usual Suspects, Kaiser Soze. That was supposed to be a big reveal. And they broadcasted it in the trailer. I work with him, in the trailer. They put that right in there. So that everything, that carefully crafted thing that they put together, they completely ruined it by putting it in the trailer. And it's been a sore point with me ever since.
I'm kind of the same way with Star Trek 3, because the Klingon reveal was supposed to be like kept quiet until the movie was released. And the trailer has Krug saying, firing, fire. Whenever the bird of prey shoots at the Enterprise. And then it shows, this is the final mission of the Starship Enterprise. Big reveal, Enterprise destroyed. The trailer came out like 2 weeks before the movie. It was like,
bastards. All right, here we go. This is just a quick trailer. Ready?
Right. Oh, I love the hair.
Hit it.
I don't know if there was any more.
You heard me say hit it, right? Spock? Anyone? Did you go to season 4 without me?
So
And that was debuted at Comic-Con.
So this raises the question: is it going to be an alternate universe where Muppets are actually what everybody looks like? The ship's
Don't
fine.
know. Is it going to be
But-
another rip in the fabric of the universe that brought along a musical episode that's going to turn everybody into Muppets and then back? Are Klingons
I'm beginning to really feel like it. I mean, we could
are the-
actually. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, are the Klingons going to be like Oscar the Grouch? But go ahead.
They'll break into song and jump into a trash can,
Yeah.
which would actually be kind of funny because of the whole garbage scout analogy.
Oh yeah, yeah. Don't tell Section 31. They'll want their own copy of it.
So, have you seen the most recent episode, the one that just came out?
No, I meant to watch that this afternoon before we kicked off, but I got distracted with doom scrolling and I didn't do it.
It's all right. I will just say, I will preload this for you and for the audience at large. They are trying to hardcore retcon their Gorn issues.
Do they explain why they don't look like a Godzilla scoop? I
They're
need
actually-
them to look like a Godzilla.
they actually drop it in there, what they're going to do. And I think it's going to be in one of those, hey, look, we're doing another timeline change. Because this is like, you know Known Space, you know Larry Niven, right? And how in Larry Niven's stories, they have the, I forget what they call them. They're the two-headed, Nessus is one of them from, like the Ringworld stories. But I can't remember the species name. But they're two-headed. They look like a horse, but they have two heads. They have white bodies.
Hold on, and then this was with the on one hand, on the other hand, and on the strong hand, they get the three hands.
Something like that, yeah.
Elephant. They have like the elephant heads. It's
yeah, they have like two heads with two sets of eyes, and they're basically they've engineered like they have a what is called a Rosetta, essentially a fleet of worlds where they have a red dwarf and they've got their planets arrayed around it and a Kepler rosette, and they're flying away from the core of the galaxy because the core of the galaxy has apparently exploded in the Known Space universe. Right. But anyway, the whole thing is that,
Footfall. Yeah.
Well, that's actually, I'm not talking about Footfall. I'm talking about the regular Known Space universe where in Ringworld, the creature that I'm talking about is called Nessus. It's white. It has two heads, like literally two heads. It's not a Gazenti, obviously. I just can't remember the name of it offhand. I could look it up. That would probably be, since I have this thing called the internet, I could do that.
I'm looking at it right now. So the aggressive Gazenti, the intelligent plant-like thematic outsiders, the telepathic Thrent, two-headed Pearson's puppeteers.
That's it. Maybe that's it. Maybe.
Yeah. Pearson's puppeteers. For their cowardice and distinct physical form, featuring two heads and a single hind leg instead of a human body.
Yep.
The primary brains are in their thoracic cavity, and their mouths are used to manipulate objects. Yep.
Yeah. So the thing about that is, nope, you can't play with the camera. Come here. All right. Cat's like, hey, I could go over here and play with your camera. It'll be all right. It'll be all right.
Water bottle.
It'll be fine.
There we go.
Yeah.
So
what I was going to say is that in the Known Space universe, the puppeteers are responsible for domesticating. I will put it that way. And some Niven fans are probably twitching right now, but I would say they are most directly responsible for domesticating the Kzinti, because they basically went out of their way to pit the Kzinti against humans and give humans an edge to kick the Kzinti's butt. And so the end result is that the Kzinti are calmed down because they lose so many wars with humanity.
Yeah,
So
I remember
essentially,
that was always a good shot in the arm for, go team you human.
so I don't think there's any puppeteers in Star Trek necessarily, but I do think there's a race that's essentially stepping into that role because of that episode. Whenever you watch it, you're going to be like, "That's what he's talking about." So when you watch it, your homework is you'll have to watch the entire thing and then check out the thing at the end and see what I'm talking about for next week. Although next week we're having, is it next week? No, we're actually not
Next
having the next week is not the, is it?
Yes, it is. This is the first Saturday. Next week is the second Saturday.
Okay, so the third Saturday is when we'll be able to talk again on podcast.
Third Saturday. Hold on. Just to let you. It's either third Saturday or fourth Saturday. Let me look up the calendar.
Okay.
Because there is our local Ren Fair where I'm going to be slinging alcohol.
Yeah. So you're not going to want it.
Yeah. So yeah, it's the fourth Saturday.
So that's the fourth. Okay. So you want to do it on? Want to go ahead and do our podcast on the third Saturday?
I'm assuming as much.
Okay. But I'm getting to the point where I'm feeling like, the writer or producer heavy hand of Show Dogma is coming along. We're going to change this just a little bit. Because they're like, well, we got this messed up. We're going to have to change it now. Like, really? I've noticed. They did do a nice name drop on the whole thing with that episode 2. I will spoil this part. They mentioned Commodore Decker of the Constellation. They specifically mentioned the Constellation, not the Vulcan one, but then one that'll. So they actually mentioned the Constellation and the Decker. So I'm like, oh, that's nice. At least they got that right.
Well, there's only so much that they can mess up. I mean, well, no, not necessarily. They can mess up the whole damn thing if they want
to. This is like Doctor Who. You could mess up anything in Doctor
Who. Now, my question is, with this new merger, Paramount and Skydance,
yeah, Skydance.
Are they going to be making any changes to the upcoming Academy?
I don't think there's any plan on changing anything with the Academy, from what I understand. I mean, from what I've seen, it's still going the same way it was going before. I haven't heard any changes in production at all.
Yeah. Yeah, I just wonder because there's there's a whole lot of change in the temperate climate when it comes to this country right now, and a lot of even there's been talk in the echelons of the fan club of what would happen if they start coming after the fandom, which I don't think we're nothing. We would not be anywhere on their radar, but apparently people think that more highly of themselves than I think of myself. But when it comes to like Paramount, because like one of the things is like apparently next year Cheeto and Chief wants to have a UFC event. But here's my thought process. All right, at the White House. All right, but here's my Paramount just paid billions of dollars, and ByteDance just paid billions of dollars to host all numbered events. All right, all numbered UFC events. So that puts them in square with the UFC. So is there going to be any kind of, oh, we're going to tone down the rhetoric thing coming up? Because apparently,
It's a possibility.
there's a lot of crossover.
I'll put it this way. The WB has been editing movies that have actually been produced for a long period of time. Most notably, Robin Hood, because with Errol Flint, because it had a little header that comes up, like a little scroll, like Star Wars, and essentially it says, men will rise up to fight tyranny. Well, apparently somebody didn't like that, so they snipped it off and basically made it where the scroll didn't say it's like watching episode 4.
Yep.
You hear the music and nothing happens.
Yeah,
You're just
those are some pretty stars. Yeah.
So it's similar. I think we might end up with things like that, where you may end up with the more heinous thing that I actually hated when I was a kid, which is, we're going to cut to commercial break, and we're going to cut to commercial break a lot, and we're going to cut out stuff that is in the episode because we're going to cut to commercial break. So they might end up cutting stuff and say, we just cut it for commercial break.
Oh yeah, yeah. It was just edited for airtime. That was all.
Yeah. So it may end up being stuff like that. It may not be that they change the direction of the production, but they may actually go ahead and just like, look, that's just too bad. We had to edit it for airtime.
Yeah, I heard the great joke that they tried editing Blazing Saddles to air on TV, and it turned out to be 7 minutes long.
Practically, probably would have to be. There's not much of it that would survive a censor these days.
Yeah, no, it's it's like at one point I remember because Jessica used to really love the show Bones, all right, and used to watch it a lot. And then when they started rebroadcasting, back when we still had cable, before I cut the cord and said enough paying for that crap. And I noticed on the rebroadcast that there's more commercials. They're throwing in more and more commercials. But since they didn't want to cut any of the show, I noticed that everybody was talking a little higher pitch. So they had sped it up just like, like 10% faster, enough where you can't, but everybody, I noticed because there was a shift in the actual pitch of the voices. And I was like, really? Is that? And so I put in a DVD and played it. I was like, I knew it. They're almost an octave higher. These damn things are just, and they do that. They do that all the time. They edit the stuff. And, the thing is, that, as they always say, winners write the history books. But I just didn't think it would be done in real time. Like you saw here today, they're doing the Department of War.
Yeah, it's one of those things I'm not gonna worry about, but at the same time, it's one of those. Yeah, really, you have to spend your time on this. I'm just
feeling sorry for the next president who's going to have to spend 2/3 of his time just writing the shit to undo everything that this president did. It should be the Gulf of Mexico.
I think it should be the Gulf of release the Epstein files, but that's just me.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, did you hear? No, and we shouldn't really be talking about this on here, but screw it. Did you hear that Newsom named the new what they did to the Rose Garden and turned it into that deck out back of the White House? He named it Pedo Patio.
I love it. Actually, I actually was really amused by apparently the Unholy Cheeto Man Because I'll just use that unholy Cheeto man. Because he's far from holy. There's nothing holy about that man. So if you worship him, that's your own problem. But anyway, he was upset because somebody had dragged something across his beloved marble slab that he had installed. He was like, these workers, they're just don't know how to do their jobs. Like,
well, you deported all the good workers.
You're left with these guys who are like, hey, Bob, how do we do this?
Yeah, exactly. I'm used to bossing the crew, not being on the crew.
So
No,
that's on you, man. That's on you because you're the boss, man. Oh wait, we're the boss of you. So you really shouldn't be like. Anyway, I'm digressing.
There was this really great. There's this really great comedian. I forget his name. He's got like this whole Jersey, New York thing going on. But anyways, he was talking about, and I'm sure you've seen the bit where he's talking about how he knows that the Mexicans are the greatest builders in history because in Egypt they have the pyramids, and we're always like, oh, who built these? Aliens, whatever. There's pyramids in Mexico, and nobody doubts that the Mexicans built those. All right.
Yeah, the Egyptians can't figure it out, but the Mexicans got it done.
Yeah, they had so many of them, they lost them. They lost them in the rainforest.
Well, yeah, I mean that's the whole thing. If you wait just a few, like I think it's like 30 or 40 years, they said. If you wait 30 or 40 years and you don't do anything to get rid of the vines and whatnot,
mm-hmm.
the jungle will just eat up your freaking roads and whatever. I mean, that's one of the reasons why everybody's like, well, why can't I drive from North America to South America? Have you tried to get through the Central American jungle? The
Darius Gap.
Yeah. I mean, It took them like, I don't remember, but it was an awful long time. And it was like, hey, we're going to use dynamite. And there was a lot of dynamite.
There still is no road. There is no road through the Darius
Gap.
Gap.
They got the Panama Canal, but that's it. I mean, for building infrastructure, there's not really a lot.
There's this moto vlogger I used to watch called Itchy Boots. She's really great moto vlogger. I started watching her because she started off on Royal Enfield, and I was watching her reviews on the Royal Enfield. But anyways, she started after doing a whole bunch of other continents and stuff like that. She was doing the Great Drive from the tip of South America all the way up to Anchorage, and she got to like Mexico before COVID shut her down. But anyways, when it came to the Darius Gap, and this woman just ride motorcycle everywhere. I mean, she is just hardcore, just going by herself. Great motorcyclist, and just riding through all kinds of stuff. At points having her motorcycle swung on zip lines over rivers to get to places. I mean, she's hardcore. Came to the Darius Gap. She loaded that fucking motorcycle onto a boat and was like, this is a great boat ride around the Darius Gap because, and I'm staying on an island for the night. Isn't this a nice island? And totally avoided that fucking gap because there's no getting through there.
Yeah. People are like, I just don't understand what the big problem is because it's hugely mountainous area with lots of fun things to deal with, like poisonous snakes and the terrain is horrible, malaria. I mean, let's go down and let's build some roads.
The only people who can get through it consistently are cartels, funneling humans. And even then, there's a large attrition rate just getting through it. And, it's really a no man's land through that gap. But it has nothing to do with Star Trek.
No. Nothing at all. The Bill of Rights, maybe, but not Star Trek itself.
What was it? They had on sale Gambody. I went ahead and purchased. They had the files for the Enterprise B.
Oh yeah.
And I went ahead and purchased it because, god damn it, I have to have all of them. And I was looking through, the only one that they don't have a file for, well, two. Okay, one that they don't have a file for that I'm waiting for them to get is the Enterprise C. All right.
Like the regular one or the Narendra class or Probert class, whatever.
Ambassador class.
Yeah. Well, there's the original design that Probert came up with, and then there's the Greg Jean and Sternbach variant, which is the one that you see in yesterday's Enterprise. So
yeah, that one.
Okay, well, just ask.
Of course, they're going to go with the one everybody knows. They're not going to go and pander to eclectic people like you who don't even have a 3D printer.
It's coming, sir. It's coming.
It's coming.
I've already discussed this with you at the end of the year.
I know. I'm just wondering where you're going to put it.
Probably going to have to make room in the dining room area.
Yeah,
that's where I'll end up.
I would suggest with your inquisitive housemates of the four-legged variety, I would suggest something like the Centauri Carbon that's fully enclosed, so they don't,
So they don't have a paw.
Yeah, especially besides messing up a print, which prints mess up anyway. It is a 210 degrees Celsius hot end down there. All right, and
we don't need that.
We don't need them. I mean, it's hard to get to, but we're talking about cats. They excel at hard to get to.
They excel at getting into everything. That's their
right.
That's their right as evil overlord. But yeah, the whole thing is that well, we've discussed my apartment. It's basically the size of Kirk's quarters from the original series. If you really get down.
Oh yeah. you live in a studio apartment.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not piking this place up. I mean, I do have a kitchen.
Let's just say if I was a single male, I would be living in about the same thing. All right. But I have a wife, so I live in a 100-plus-year-old, 2,500 square foot house with no insulation and 100-year-old windows that just burns through my money trying to heat and cool it. But we're not going to get into that. But no, I've got everything from the NX-01, TOS, Refit, B, D, E, Voyager, Discovery, and the Reliant. They have not come out with a model yet for the C, the Ambassador class, and they have a model for the NX-01 Refit. I just haven't thrown the chunk of change at them yet for it. I'm waiting for it to go on sale.
Have you seen, or have you noticed? I should rephrase. Have you noticed the NX-01 Refit on Strange New World?
I want to say that I did notice it that one time when they were at Starbase One.
Yeah, it's in the credits. It's in the credits at the very end.
Oh.
You have the Enterprise, and then you have the.
In the process,
nice.
This, for those who don't know, is the Archer class Scout, which apparently is getting a whole lot of love right now. A lot of people are just discovering, like me, I'm just discovering the Archer class because I've never read the books. But a whole lot of people are just discovering this Archer class. I've noticed a lot of people trying to print it and stuff right now, or coming up with models and stuff like that. But this to give you an idea how small this ship is in canon, 45 meters long. This model, to the scale, I don't have the ends of themselves on here. This is at 1/175 scale. All right, where the Enterprise at 1/350 scale, which is half in scale. Whereas if I did this in this was originally 1/350 scale, and I was like, it came out like this big, and I was like, oh, to hell with that. That's nothing. And that was the big model because they have it at 1/1000 scale, which is just like
tiny.
But
baby.
Yeah, it was the tiny, just this tiny thing. No, the TOS at 1/350 scale is about 3 foot long.
Mhm.
All right.
That's accurate.
So
It's about 35.75 mine is. So
yeah, exactly. And to realize that, that 1/350 scale, this would be just a little bit larger than the B and C deck
mhm.
of your Enterprise.
Yeah. Well, what makes it even more funny is that like I have like the Diamond Select Enterprise next to the big Enterprise, and
Yeah.
so they're almost like it's almost like half scale. So it's like here's the Cage Enterprise, and here's the Production Enterprise,
Oh yeah.
because it's like people are like, well, are the windows supposed to represent decks? Well, in the original, they had a lot less windows. I mean, like the
Yeah.
Saucer Rim has just one row of windows. Doesn't have
Yeah.
like the second row that you see
The one
later
that
on.
I'm working on, I need to get off my ass and get going on, is a 1/650 scale,
Mhm.
and the original kit that they made back in the 70s, and
Mhm.
that one, the windows, I mean, are just huge. I mean, they take up the entire saucer section, just like you said,
Mhm. Yeah.
and on the engineering hull and on the neck, there's only like 3 or 4 rows of windows on that neck because the windows are so big. And
Oh yeah.
a lot of people will go ahead and shave those off and use decals that I'm going to go ahead and try. I'm going to do a thing called Raytheon lighting,
Mhm.
and I am going to have it where those windows will actually light up that size. I want them to be that size. I want that to be a stock 1970s ship, kitted out like nobody's business.
Are you gonna
And
paint the Are you gonna paint the nacelle caps the wrong color like on the kit? On the
no, dude, I'm doing the blinky lights. Remember?
right.
I'm
What I
doing
mean is the kit box actually had the paint was like all higgledy piggledy all over the place. Like the
you
nacelle
know,
cap is like I think black in one spot. So it's like the cap. If you actually look at the AMT model kit that they sold from like 69 until like 83 or 84,
right
it
now
actually
it's
had
holding
like a.
my Orville that I'm working on.
Uh-huh.
Oops. But it's all in this box here. You go up here. If you fall down, I'm gonna be so mad at you. All right, good. All right.
I can send you a copy of the picture if you want it.
They redid that for the original box.
Yeah, that's the original box.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the one
And-
after that. The
Oh, the
thing.
one after that, I don't know.
I'll send you a picture of it here.
Do they have? Nope.
I can send it to you real quick. There we go. Sure, it's nice and big.
But no, I'm gonna light those. Those neck. I mean, I had it out. I could show you how big those are on there, because and this model is notoriously bad when it comes to the flashing on there. Those things are so hard to take off.
They are.
But take off they will be. Let me see. Engineering hull right here. Engineering hull in the neck. Oh, shiza. You have to be careful with you. I don't know if you can actually see. Yeah, if I hold it right to the light, you can see how big those windows are there. I mean,
Oh yeah, they're ginormous.
and so what I'll do is I'll use a flashlight and I'll light them from underneath so I can see where they're at, and then I will mark I'll go ahead and put light block on there, and then when I paint everything for light blocking, those after it's all light blocked from the inside, I'll be able to pull that off. And when I light it from the inside, they'll light up. It'll all be good. All right. So let's see here. The original. And let's share. I said share. No, Sonny, just share. What? Sorry.
The funny part is that the secondary hull was separable. You could take it apart. And so the paint, or not the paint, but the decal, the decal for the banner, it's on the front of the secondary hull, has a split in it. And for a long period of time, people were like, "Oh, that's says Starship USS Enterprise." And it doesn't. It's just the decal got split. But
let's see here. I'm looking. I don't see black.
look at the nacelle. Look behind the.
Oh, you mean
behind
on the
the-
ring?
On the
that
what?
ring? On that
Yeah.
ring behind there?
Yeah, that's painted black. The intercoolers
it's not supposed to be that dark.
are painted. They're painted chrome, and so are the final stage coolers on the inlet of the cells. They're painted chrome as well.
Yeah.
So it's interestingly painted.
Well, the one that always got me is the D7. The amount of chrome on the D7, because on the D7, with the big model, this cooler there is chromed out. These up here, the inserts are chromed out, and these areas on the back of the bridge, on the fly bridge here, those are all chromed out. So I mean, and seriously, like hardcore chrome. I mean, like you would see on a Harley. It was some bad chrome that they would hand you, and then so many people are just sanding those down and taking them down and doing a steel accent on them instead, or something like that. You know, something that is not garishly chromed. I mean, apparently, you know, they thought that the Klingons should definitely be the bikers of the quadrant, because they went for the chrome.
Space Viking bikers. So there you go.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing that always made me laugh was that
Now,
as far as models go,
as biker gangs go, excuse me on this one, really quick, my mind. As biker gangs go, would there be a rivalry between the Klingons and the Nausicaan biker gangs?
yes, definitely.
I knew it.
The Klingons would win because the Nausicans are bad at gambling.
Yeah.
Klingons aren't really great at it either, but they definitely are better than the Nausicans.
They'd be constantly getting pulled over for running, you know, illegal tribbles. It'd be horrible.
I mean, the thing about Nausicans is they never found a back they didn't like to stick a knife in. I mean, just ask Lieutenant Picard. It's like, oh, this feels great. Oh,
yeah.
But
shot to the heart, and Nausicaans are to blame. Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, I've always wondered, you know, who. I know Matt Jeffries did a lot of work for production on the original series. I'm really curious if he actually was like, "Hey, we'll stick chrome on the model; it'll be fine." Like, that's a very unusual idea for like somebody who's worked in production, because you don't want anything that's shiny, that's highly reflective, because if it catches the blue screen, it's going to be a hole, literally through the model.
Yeah. Well, it's not only that. I mean, we know for a fact that, you know, that the Klingon D7 was was originally the model kit was made by AMT, with the express reason that, you know, the mock-up model that they used, that's what, you know, CBS would use in the actual production. I mean, that was a partnership between them. It's one of the few instances where the model came before it was seen on TV, you know, in actual production. And so you know that what they used in the production did not have the chrome on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
I would go ahead and say it was somebody in AMT's office when they were sending it out said, you know what? Let's make it spark a little bit. Let's put some chrome on, like, because they at the time were predominantly doing cars. All
Mhm.
right. And they're constantly, chroming up the bumpers and stuff like that on the kits for the cars. So
Mhm.
they probably just said, put it through the bumper line. All right, and let's get these done up. And that's what got them the chrome. And yeah, yeah. So once again, I blame the Chevy Bel Air for everything, and it's their fault for this. Okay.
The other thing I want to point out about the D7 is, and this is coming out mainly because they still have the Tomy run of the D7, and
Yeah.
they've gone with the what is considered the canon expectation of where everything is. Like the shuttle bay is at the top,
Yeah.
then you have the impulse drive.
Hmm.
I've always wanted to look at the actual way things are laid out and look at, I speculate because I like to speculate. Um, for design elements, what you have otherwise on there that the designer might have intended, but he never really specified, or he just didn't really get his chance to really do it. There's an interesting element to the D7, in that the D7 has, like, if you look at the top, it's called the top hat. A lot of people call it the top hat. It's basically the wedge. You have the bridge here. You have a little radome behind it, and then you have like a little triangle behind it, which is supposed to be life support. And then on the aft facing sides of the wedge, you have these, like in the AMT model, they're basically like almost like a sort of wavy indentation, like windows. And most of the time, yeah, like in this kit, like in this set of plans, if you look right below the bridge and right
Right
behind the
there.
front edge, you can see like these set of like
Yeah, that's
boxes.
what I was saying was chromed out on the flybridge right there.
Right. So
Yeah.
the question is, and later on they were actually like see-through green plastic. So I always wondered if like that was supposed to be the impulse drive, because it's effectively a reasonably decent spot for one. If you want to put an impulse drive in the saucer, and then like the Enterprise doesn't have an impulse drive in the secondary hull; it has it in the primary hull. So I don't know if Matt Jeffries had thought that far ahead or even cared. But it is an interesting alternate idea of where the impulse drive might have been intended to be, because the whole thing where behind the foredeck you have the engineering plant for life support in the D7. But just
I
just
I
curiosities.
think my thought on that is because they were included in on all the ships of that era,
Hmm.
because Matt Jeffries and all them were firmly grounded in the 1960s space race. All
Hmm.
right. And what any of us know, one of the greatest things, problems to deal with when you're in space is getting rid of excess heat.
Hmm.
All right. And so perhaps that might have been, theoretically in his head as he was designing it, that might have been some kind of a heat exchanger.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
that's one of the
because
things
on
around the
the
base of the neck where it meets to the hull. That section there actually has tubes that indicate it's
yeah,
like a heat exchanger. So like the whole neck
exactly.
is like a heat
And
exchanger.
yeah, that there, but remember on the D7, the whole, from the neck forward is supposed to be able to detach and fly
Hmm.
away and leave the slaves in the main hull while
Yeah,
true,
true
Klingon,
Klingons.
Klingarians, I guess for Aryans, Klingarians, fly off when
The
there's a
Klingon
slave
Nazis.
revolt.
The Klingon
Yeah, and see
Nazis.
that's another thing too. All right, we know that in canon and all this stuff like this, the Klingons, they were slaver race. All
Hmm.
right, how come it's never? I mean, in TNG, they never bring up the fact, hey, yeah, the reason that we're all warriors is because all of our stuff is built by our slave races. They never bring that up.
No, they don't. They don't bring up. I will say this because it's no longer considered even close to being canon, which is the Final Reflection by John M. Ford, is the basis of a lot of Klingon fandom. I can die on that hill. I can honestly say, good novel, great novel actually. I like it. I read it many times. I think it's actually a very very enlightening novel for a possible explanation of the Klingon culture. But the thing is that he doesn't pull any punches. He's like, if you don't win in a fight with the Klingons, you're going to become a slave race. Your culture is going to be subservient to the Klingon Empire. You're going to basically all your output, all your economic output, all your resources are going to be at their disposal. If they want to strip mine your world, they're going to strip mine your world.
See, initially, as we well know, not Hubbard. Who made Star Trek?
Time?
No.
Hmm?
Who was the? Oh, come on, man! My brain, man, I hate my brain ever since that accident. Who is the guy who came up with Star Trek?
Gene Roddenberry.
Thank you, Roddenberry. Sorry, my brain doesn't work sometimes.
Sorry.
Roddenberry, when he was coming up with it, he basically established that the Klingons were the Russians, right?
Mhm.
At the time period, that's what it was, whole Cold War thing happening, and there was a Cold War happening in his show as well. But as they went on, I believe that they morphed more into the Spartans. Warrior class. If you weren't a warrior, you weren't nothing. All right. And the Spartans were notorious for keeping slaves.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, that's what brought them down, was eventually their slave revolts just took them out.
I would say there's two concurrent ideas there. I think one of them is that the Klingons are Spartans. So their military credo is definitely Spartan. But their economic ideology and their pursuit of conquest is Viking, or Viking, actually, if we want to pronounce it correctly.
Yeah.
So they're not above trading with you. They're not above making a deal. But if you
Spartans were the same way, man.
Huh?
Spartans, if you were an established city state, like Athens or any of the others out there, they had good relations with Thebes and Athens and all the stuff like that. They had good relations with them. They had good relations with freaking Persians, but they were also 100% warrior. They are one of those. They're one of those historical, petri dishes. Kind of like the samurai, where for Japan they were, a warrior class. Where with the Spartans, it was the entire civilization was the warrior class, and so, in my opinion, by the time they hit TNG, they went from being the Russians and turned into being the Spartans. And even later on, when they got into DS9, there was talk, we're going to have to change our ways, because just being pure warrior, it's our entire civilization is falling apart. We've gone too far down the warrior path. Yeah. And so that's my thought.
Well, I agree. I think that there's a lot of that in there. I think that the Viking element shows up mostly in the original series, actually, as a side note, in Friday's Child, because the guy who's like trying to make a deal with the Rigelians to go ahead and with Otto to go ahead and get I forget what mineral it was, but anyway, he's basically trying to outdeal the Federation. Yeah. And so I think that fits perfectly. I think that you have the Spartan warrior credo for for everything military and everything in terms of military action and justification. And I think that some of their people are like, let's make a deal.
Mhm. And it was personified in their look. When they were more Russian Viking was when they were borderline blackface in the 60s. And by the time, the TMP and Next Gen came out, where they were, straight warrior, that's when they had the turtle shells on the top of their heads.
It's
I'm
lobster.
sorry. Every time I see
Lobster and
that,
turtles.
I feel like somebody just came up and just stamped a horseshoe crab right in their foreheads.
It actually looks exactly like that.
Yeah.
Actually, I would wonder if you could get a horseshoe crab, do a silicone, mold of it, and then just pop that onto somebody's head. Hey, it's my next Klingon, forehead design.
Or do an entire food-based Klingon thing, so you could be like Klingon Bourdain and whatever that guy's name was. That was but yeah, just have the horseshoe crab thing there, and just have a whole, instead of a standard baldric, have a thing of like of sausages hung across. You could do the whole thing.
Sausage. Actually, if you remember Terry Pratchett, Kadibbler, call him Kadibbler. You remember Dibbler?
Dibbler, cut your own throat, dribbler.
Yeah, have Kadibbler. Yeah. He's Kadibbler because it's cut your own throat, Dibbler. Kadibbler.
Yeah.
From the House of Dibbler.
Yeah. But
he has a whole sash of sausages. You don't know how long you've been on there.
For anybody who tunes in for this episode, to remind that earlier today, Sean and we went to the range and had some fun with our first marksmanship class. We had some fun. Makes me want to bring my shotgun next time.
Yep, mine too.
Yeah. Is yours my lovely neighbors with their Harleys? How dare they? And I don't have my Harley out. My Harley's a lot louder. Thank you, Papa Kenny, who left me the Harley after he put Screaming Eagle pipes on it. No, but yeah, is your shotgun a 12 gauge, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Same as mine. But I noticed from the literature on the wall, it has to be number 4 shot or smaller is all they'll allow you to play with there, which is good because there's no reason for us to be putting double aught down that range. No. Matter of fact, most of the stuff I have, I think, is like 16, number 16 bird shot or something like that. Yeah, so we can play with that next time. And no, we had fun with our 22s and our 9 mils, and I brought out the old what?
The 357.
Yeah, I brought out the old cowboy gun. That one's fun. I mean, if you ever because it's got an 8-inch. For those who don't know, it's a Ruger It's a Ruger Black Hawk 2, 357 Magnum single action 8-inch barrel cowboy gun that my dad had and he gave to me, and that thing is huge. It is. I mean, it's a well endowed gun. And
Dirty Harry would be happy.
yeah. Basically, the guy saw it and he's like, "Oh man, is that a 44?" I'm like, "Nah, it's just a 357, but that's more than enough for me." But the thing is that if it were not as big as it is, if you ever shoot a smaller 357 where it doesn't have all that metal to keep it from kicking as much, it's got a lot more kickback. That one, the kickback is close to the same as my 9 mil with the trigger that pulls for days.
Yeah, actually, I have less problem with your 9 mil with the kickback, but then again,
the grip on the 9mm is better to hold on to than the
Yeah.
grip on the cowboy gun.
because the problem is your wrist basically is stuck in this position, whereas with the
Yeah.
you basically have a direct line, whereas you're having to do almost like that to hold the
Yeah, it's got that old school cowboy horn
Yeah.
of a handle on it.
and so
But
that really helps the kick because you're
Yeah.
working against your own wrist to sort of like pop the gun.
Yeah. But that the 9mm that I have, as you found out, I tried to, I tried to tell you, you start pulling that trigger, you can make yourself a meal while waiting for it to come through.
Are we there yet?
Yeah.
Are we there yet? Are we
And
there?
the whole reason for that is because it's a double action. Yeah, it's double action, so you're actually pulling back the hammer, and that's the reason it's so long, because it's pulling back the hammer at the same time. On like your 9mm or 22s, when it cycles, it cocks the hammer automatically. That
Yeah.
that 9mm that I have does not cock the hammer, and that's also the reason it doesn't have a safety.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it doesn't, theoretically they thought we don't need a safety. And then later on the company folded.
Safeties.
Yeah, later on the company folded because of legal actions and lack of paying their taxes, apparently, from what I read online.
Well, thanks for cheap handguns. I mean, scoop them up while you can get them.
Yeah, it was a cheap ass handgun, man. I've paid for meals more expensive than I paid for that handgun.
One thing I'm happy about with the Taurus, the TX22, is I really like the reset and the wall
Okay.
on the 22. As you like, it planks away really nicely and keep your target groupings really tight.
Yeah, you found that out about that Ruger that I have as well. That thing
Oh, yeah,
is
that was
really
sweet too.
sweet.
That
Yeah,
was
on
nice.
targeting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I almost want to get one just because of that, but
that one is the Ruger Mark III. All right.
Mm-hmm.
They've come out since with the Ruger Mark IV, I think now. I don't know if they've come out with a Ruger Mark V yet. But the great thing about the 4 over the 3 is, in order to do a full breakdown on that, it involves a hammer and some wire to pull different parts out. It is just a beast to do a full breakdown on. And
it wouldn't be an easy fix or easy cleaning.
Yeah, it's not an easy clean. And they went ahead for the Mark IV. They made it so it's easier to clean. Now, it's not as easy to clean as my Sky 9mm is. That one literally is designed to be broken down with just a 9mm case. Literally, there's one pin that has a recess in it the same width as the edge on the base of the 9mm case. So you just get the slide in the right area, hook that recess with the 9mm case, pull out that pin, and the whole thing comes right apart. And easy to clean up, easy to put back together. I mean, it was a very well made weapon. Just the company was shady as a freaking willow tree. Just shady as all crap.
I will say the one thing I do like about the Taurus is, and it's actually true of my Tokarev for the most part, because I'm a big believer in tech terms. There's a term that we like to use in tech, which is Fisher Price friendly. Oh my God. Everything should be Fisher Price friendly if you can make it that way. So anyway, the Taurus has the slide on the TX22. Basically, you slide it up, and on the 9mm, you slide it forward. Once you got the slide off, it's pretty much done. I mean, all you have to do is take the barrel out, take the spring out. Oh, look, it's hard.
Yeah,
and you're done. I mean, the TVP 12 Tokarev is like, oh look, I'm going to disassemble it, and oh look, here's the barrel. Oh look, I mean, it's a little bit more complicated than the Taurus, but at the same time, it's not.
That Gray SAR that I have, the one that I have on the AR platform, that one is so difficult to take apart I had to
Mhm.
find. I was only able to find one video of someone doing a full breakdown on it for a cleaning, and I was like, "This is not wise. Why does not? I mean, the what little bit of paperwork came with it was like IKEA instructions. It just said take it apart. Well, no shit. How do I take it apart? And it took a while for me to figure out, how to disassemble. And so that one's difficult. The Ruger Mark III is difficult. The Sky is a dream to take apart, and so is the Ruger. The 357 mag, that one's just simple take apart. I mean, all you got to do is just slide out one pin and the cylinders come out. So yeah, that one's an easy take apart.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. We had a lot of
yeah,
fun.
but like I've got a lever action downstairs, a little lever action 22. It's a great little weapon. All right.
Mhm.
And it's great. I love it. It's a Browning lever action 22. You can't take that damn thing apart to clean it. I mean, there is no field stripping of it. All I can basically do is open up and run the thing down it, and that's about it. I
Mhm.
cannot do a full, tear down and open up the
Okay.
receiver and all the stuff like that without literally having to, you can't field strip it. It's armory stripping that you have to do. You have to literally take off the whole
Lower assembly.
everything. Everything's got to come off, and apparently it's one of those things where putting it back together, you have to be holding your tongue in the right part of your mouth and everything in order to get it to go. It's
Give to an elder god.
and
Here's
but
some
that's
blood.
just the way, because that's the same mechanism and everything like that from back in the 1800s, and they just didn't make them for easy disassembly back then.
That actually brings up something I actually was found funny, because Star Trek 6 introduced this phaser that is like they actually reused parts of it for Enterprise. So like the front end was rebuilt a little bit, and they
Yeah.
shortened it obviously, but it became the phase pistol. But the thing was that the original phaser was, I forget what gun it was off of, but anyway, it has like a clip, like a magazine clip. They even had like at the base of it has like 01 numbers for the prop, because they kept a record of who had what prop what day. And it has like the name of the ship and the phaser number. Yep, there it is.
You're saying they were tired of props disappearing, is what you're saying?
Yep. Yeah, but they used the bottom half of it is actually, I think, based off of I don't even really know, but it reminds me a little bit of a 1911 semi-auto pistol, because it has like all these like little things like, oh look, there's a safety, oh look, there's this, so look, I was like, okay, but that's the thing about, somebody was like, hey, if you like that phaser, you ought to like a 1911 pistol. I'm like, well, what's the teardown like? How easy is it to take apart a 1911? Well,
Yeah.
I love that. Well, ...
Yeah.
Okay, well, if
Exactly.
it's going to be a well ... it's probably not going to be a pistol I want to deal with, because I got cats, and last thing I want to have is a cat going, hey, look.
Oh, one thing that I miss from my Marine Corps days, and I can't find them, all right, which irritates the crap out of me. All right.
Mhm.
Back in my back in my boot days and all the stuff like that, your cleaning kit that came with your weapon, that fit in the stock. That was the word I was looking for, stock. It fit in the stock and everything of your weapon, the cleaning kit. It came with a towel, a mat that you put everything. It was just a folded up piece of cloth that you put stuff down on. All right. But printed on that was every part. And it's like every part had its own place where it would go. So when you were doing a teardown, you put every part where it went. All right.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you were putting it back together, you knew where everything was, because everything was in its little spot on the towel.
Mm-hmm.
Man, you can't find that. and I've even tried doing searches for it. M16A2, cleaning kit towel with all the markings. Can't find anything, and because I would dearly love to have that. I think that would be a great idea. I mean, there's our $1 million idea right there. Make those for each weapon and have those laid out. So when you're doing your teardowns and your cleanup, you can put everything where it goes on the towel. That's your $1 million idea right there.
I imagine actually the copyright for that is probably actually expired because it's been at least it's been over 50 years.
We'll send it to China to be made. They don't care about copyrights.
Timo it up, baby.
Yeah, we'll just have it drop.
I need 50,000 units tomorrow. Stat. Well, it'll only be $5,000 for that, but you're gonna have to pay $5,000 for the tariff. Congratulations.
Yeah, yay.
So I'm going to digress back to Star Trek just for a moment.
Of course.
So here's the thing. I can't imagine ever in the history of the Federation any Federation president going, "Hey, you know what? I want to go ahead and put some tariffs on stuff." I just don't see it happening because, oh my God, the Federation is so post-humanism or whatever.
It's post scarcity.
Yeah, so scarcity. There we go. But the other thing is I can't imagine the damage that you would cause if you had oh well, let's see, we're gonna put a tariff on this on dilithium crystals. Let's see how that goes. I'm sure that would go over well because everything goes well when you put tariffs on it.
Yeah, it is. It's going great. There it is.
Did you find something?
Mickey Mouse cloth. All right.
Assembly cloth or something?
There. See it there?
Yep.
So when you put everything down, everything fit on its spot.
They have something similar for it's a gun mat for you to clean, when you're cleaning your gun so you don't get gun oil or whatever on your desk or whatever. And they have it's essentially an illustrated thing, but it's not for a specific gun. It's put your receiver here, put your pins here.
People love, they fall into love with their individual weapon, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it would be so easy. I mean, realistically, with your skills when it comes to illustration stuff, all right, just to get, full-size images of the different parts, and you saw that cloth. It was just the most basic of outlines, all right, and then just run those. Put them on Etsy. People would eat those. Oh, I got a towel just for my Taurus. Oh, I got a towel just for my Ruger. Yeah, people would love.
That's a great idea, actually. If I had gone and done what I wanted to do when I was just out of high school, it was hey, there's this thing we could do with computers. We could put neon in computers. Oh, that'll never be popular. IBM computers will never be popular because Amiga and Commodore. I'm poking a bear with some of the people out there. If you're one of these people who knew me back in the early 90s and went, Commodore and Amiga rule, IBM will never be anything. People will never use an IBM. Who said Windows machines and Microsoft are going to take over the market? And
I have chosen poorly so much, and it apparently it runs in my genetics because the first videotape player that my family had was a Betamax. All right, chose the wrong one there. All right.
Well, collector's item. You still have
but my audio player was a Zune. I didn't get the Apple. I got the Zune. All right. And so across the board, we have consistently chosen poorly to the point that we tell people if you want to win the lottery, here's what you do: you call me up, all right, ask me what my numbers are that I chose, and don't use any of those numbers, you will have automatically increased your chance of winning exponentially by not using those 6 numbers.
It's fair. I will say that when I've won money, it's almost always because I don't care. It's like it sneaks up on you. Be like, hey, by the way, Sean, you just won $1,000. Be like, what? Like, oh yeah,
I don't
won $1,000.
I don't even get that. I don't even get that. I get the oh, try again. It's just no, and that's the reason I don't gamble. I mean, it's one thing to buy a lottery ticket once in a while. $2 is okay to dream, but I'm not going to spend anything more than $2 because I took statistics and I know that buying more tickets does not increase your chances of winning. And that's just the way statistics work. And people who don't know statistics buy shit tons of tickets.
There's actually a funny thing I will say. Real Genius has the answer to that certain issue.
Oh,
because
yeah. If you buy
he basically he prints them out.
Well, yeah, but he wasn't actually buying tickets. He was just, all of those contests where, no purchase necessary.
Right.
You can go ahead and send in for those. Yeah, that one worked. But when it comes to like the big lottery, that doesn't work.
I just thought it was hilarious because it was like he had calculated out, the percentage chance. I will win something like 35 point something percent of the prizes.
Yeah. Oh, well, I the other day, just for shits and giggles, I had the AI run the numbers, and it took a while for me to drill down, all right, because I had to keep telling it, no, you're forgetting about this, you're forgetting about this. But I wanted to prove that you had a better chance of winning a lottery than you did of getting into the NFL. All right. And basically, what I had to have it figure out was, how long the average career is for an NFL player, which turns out to be 3 years on average, what their average salary is. All right. And, for that time period. And so they figured that out. And then to figure out every national, state, regional lottery out there that will pay out at that amount or more. The odds of winning each of those, and keep in mind that, with all of those, you can play those multiple times a week, where with the NFL, you have to funnel up from junior high all the way up through. I had it run those numbers of what the actual rejection numbers and funneling up all the way through. I was bored. And I did something similar when my knee was hurt. The NFL, choosing for the NFL only happens once a year, or the draft only happens once a year. So figuring that out, and you have a better chance if you paper the country and purchase a ticket in every lottery. You have a better chance of winning an NFL salary or greater than you do of getting into the NFL.
Makes sense.
A whole lot of lottery tickets. Whole lot of lottery tickets. No, I remember. What was it in statistics class in college? I remember the teacher telling us, if you want to make money gambling, own a casino, because the odds are always against you. The house always has the odds. The only way that you can concisely continue to make money gambling is to own a casino, because the house always wins in the long run, which is what makes the travesty of our number 47 right now, the fact that he had a casino lose money and fail.
Yeah, it takes real skill to be able to do that. I will say that.
Yeah, that's like falling down and missing the ground. I mean, that may work for a Douglas Adams skit, but that's about it.
I mean, there have been some failures in Las Vegas that have been mostly because other casinos have opened up and have put the other casino out of business. But those are exceptions to the rule. That's because of supply and demand versus I can't manage my company and I can't manage to coherently and correctly and competently run it and make money doing it. There's a difference because you
I
can't
will
point
have
to
you know,
Las Vegas and say these failed too. No, that's a whole different bag of cats. This
I
is
will have you know,
competence. That's supply and
I
demand.
when I was in when I was in the Corps, I'd go to the Vegas every once in a while, and I'd stay at the cheapest casino on the Strip,
Mhm.
which was a horrible casino called Circus Circus. It was circus themed,
I never got to go to
and
that ever.
it was crappy back then, and that
Mhm.
was 30 years ago, 35 years ago.
I think they
All right,
leveled it. Didn't
just
they? I'm pretty sure
recently.
they did. Yeah.
Just recently did it become so horrible
Mhm.
and so destitute that they finally shut it down. But it was still having people come in, all right, and it was still
Mhm.
making money. The only problem was is that in order to bring it back up to code, because they let it slide so far, it would have cost more money than that shithole would ever make. And so they went ahead and just bulldozed it. But that place was going for 40, 50 years. All right.
Mhm.
And it was a crap-tastic casino. The only reason I stayed there is because the rooms were so damn cheap. I could afford it on a freaking Marine Corps salary. Yeah, bad.
So
But anyways,
I
man,
will.
we got
We got off talk. Oh, we got off topic really bad, but that's okay.
yeah.
We had fun.
But
I
yeah,
will say that
so
the saddest thing about Las Vegas and casinos and whatnot was in the '90s, late '90s, they were like, "Hey, we'll build this full-size Starship Enterprise. It'll be, you know, this thing out in the desert. You can go visit the Enterprise and have a room in the primary hall and have all these things inside it." And they went, "Nope, we're not going to build it." Like,
well,
you took it all
you know,
away.
it could have been. It could have been. But the thing is I agree with them. It never would. It never would have gone into the black. I mean, look at Disney, all right, and their whole Star Wars thing that they put together, and staying in the rooms there were so freaking expensive to have the full
Okay.
Star Wars experience, and
You practically
they
have to
were
be a
booked.
millionaire to go and be able to enjoy it.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
just
they were
one ticket
booked.
alone was outrageous. I think it was over $5,000 or $7,000 or something outrageous.
A night.
Yeah.
Yeah, and but the thing is they were booked out, and
Mhm.
still that folded.
Yeah. I mean, I won't mince words. The one thing that still amuses me to this day is you can build the hottest, sexiest thing ever, and if your cost is like this and your profit is like this, you're never going to be able to reach the
You never
point
get
where
it.
you can
can't
afford it.
chase it. Yeah,
Yeah. And you might as
exactly.
well start with the concept of aim for this and see if your profit margin will be this. Then
And
you're better off.
that's the reason that the Star Trek experience that they had in Vegas, which unfortunately I never got to go to, that was basically just, in some, well, what do you want to call it? Convention center kind of thing.
Mhm.
All right, where they just had a couple rooms and stuff like that, and they recreated like the experience, but it was
Mhm.
not some full size Enterprise out in the desert.
No,
But
it
even
wasn't.
that only lasted so long before they shuttered the doors on it.
They've actually brought back, I'll have to look it up for the next time we have our podcast, but they actually have brought back a bridge simulator full size. I think it's Universal Studios. I could be wrong. Which is actually kind of funny because that's where the original Star Trek experience started back in the early '90s or late '80s. It was
98.
actually, yeah. Well, actually, it was when Star Trek V was being filmed. They had let the Enterprise model be essentially borrowed by Universal Pictures, and somebody, this will make you cry. Somebody went, "Hey, you know what? We need to have this toned down because it's too reflective." And so they took gray spray paint and went
Ugh.
across the hull. So all the details, all the fine model work, and all the filigree, all the Aztecing. Nope, right across. So it was painted flat gray because it needed to show up better for the presentation. And when they got the model back, they had 2 weeks to get it ready for filming. And ILM was like, nope. hold off.
Can't do it.
Nope.
Yep.
So the shots are from the top of the primary hull, oblique section of the secondary hull. That's it. That's all you get in Star Trek V. It's basically you get a saucer on as the ship pulls up to you, and then you have the ship leaving. From your perspective, be like this.
For people like me, those Starship money shots, those glory shots, those are what I watch for. I love the ship shots, and you can tell in the Orville that that whoever is putting and producing that is also just like me and loves the beauty shots of the ships. Because they do some really pretty shots of those ships on that one.
I still think the TMP pull away when the Enterprise is about to go to work at the very end. So they do this really long sort of you're going across the primary hull, you're getting all the little details of the Aztecing, and then we lift up to the secondary hull. You get to see the botanical section, and you get to see the flashing strobe on the bottom of the secondary hull before it goes to warp.
Yeah.
And then jumps to warp. I think that model shot was what really sold people on. I mean, the dry dock scene was great, but I think that scene, more than almost anything else in that movie, is what people like. That is the Enterprise right there. That is the TMP Enterprise right there.
And that's the reason I love that Aztecing on that ship. That Aztecing that they did on that model, it is quench. I mean, I have a book. Where is it at? It's over there. I have a book that I purchased. I mean, I paid $35 for a PDF. All right, and that PDF, when I printed it, and I printed that all out on my computer upstairs because FedEx wanted way too much for two-sided color on everything. So I abused the privilege of having a work computer in my house. But, in my own defense, I purchased the ink cartridges myself. And so I printed it all off and I took it to them and had them spiral bind it. But it's that thick. All right. And it is nothing but a complete breakdown, millimeter by millimeter on a 1/350 scale refit on how to do the paint job. And it is amazing. Hold on, hold on. I'll just grab it really quick. It's
okay.
It is the TrekModeler.com paint guide. This is how thick it is after I printed it double-sided. Or the doubles? No, I want single-sided because I wanted it everything. I mean, it has everything on full on complete, goes into the patterning and everything, because this was expected when you were building this. It was expected that you were going to be cutting your own paint masks. And so it goes full into everything on how to make the paint mask for every bit of the ship and putting everything together. This is an amazing $35 well spent for the PDF.
Drool.
Yeah, it
Drool.
was. And the thing is that it's so well done that, I've had people on some of the websites and, on some of the forums, I mentioned, you need to get this. And I tell them it's $35, for the PDF. And they're like, oh, you bought it? Can you send me the PDF? I'm like, no, I respect. They did a great book, and they can earn every damn penny that they
do they sell it
that they get out of it. What?
Do they still sell it?
Yeah, TrekModeler.com, I think it is. Let me see here. No, hold on. Trek. Hold on. Did I spell it right? Helps if I learn how to spell. I missed an E.
That's all right.
All right, so let's see. Oh yeah. Let me share this.
Okay.
Yeah, here it is. TrekModeler.com. They have modeling services, lighting kits, la 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 la. Lighting kit, electronics. Oh, they have the different ships there. Yeah, they've changed this up since I've last been here. Ooh, they have news about the Refit Enterprise shuttle-based sequential lighting board. But where is Trek Model? Oh yeah, here was their original website. All right, enter and paint guide. So they have different paint guides. Man, they've really brought this up. This is a lot better than it was. Yeah, $35 for it right there. And it is an amazing. I'm gonna have to go through this website. We get off here. I know what I'm playing around with tonight. I'm playing around with this website. Go ahead and save that. Yeah, they got a lot more stuff. Did you freeze? Are you still there? Sean? Well, looks like Sean's no longer with us. And that's okay because we've gone over half an hour longer than we normally do. So I will go ahead and sign off for everybody because I've got my thing that I'm doing tonight. I'm hitting trekmodeler.com and going to look at some of their different paint stuff that they have going. It's looking really good. So until then, we will talk at you not next week, but the week after. Have a good time and keep boldly trekking.